Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com. This is episode 13 of Learn Lightroom 6, also called Lightroom CC. In this episode, we're going to talk about a few things that I didn't already cover in any of the previous episodes. One note, if you would like to purchase the raw files that are used in these 13 episodes, you could click here, it'll bring you to my website, and you could purchase the raw files and work along with me as I process them in these videos. Now, at the end of this video, I'll talk about a DVD that I'm going to be having available with the videos on it. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about some stuff I didn't already cover. This first thing is a problem you might encounter now and then. If you look at my screen here, you can see I'm in the develop module, and at the very top of the image it says the file could not be found. And if you look over at the basic panel, everything is grayed out. I cannot make any adjustments. Well, this often happens if outside of Lightroom you moved images from folder to folder, or you moved a folder to a different location, things like that. Lightroom doesn't know that you made those changes, so it can't find the file. So what you could do, if it's the case of a single image like this, you could right click on the image itself. And this menu pops up, and you could see right here, I'm using a Mac, so it says Show in Finder. If you're using a PC, it should say, I believe, Show in Explorer. Either way, you would click on that. You could see that a box pops up saying that Lightroom cannot find the file. Would you like to locate it? Well, you would click on Locate, and then this dialog box pops up, and you could just navigate to where the file is. So if you moved it to a different folder, just navigate to that folder. If you renamed it, navigate to the new name. Just click on it, select, and you're good to go. It'll find the file now. Now, in this case, what I did, I have all my images on an external hard drive. So I simply don't have the hard drive plugged in. And because of that, it cannot find the file, obviously. If you go over to the library module, you could see all my images are missing. If you could look very closely, you could see on the folder there's a little question mark. That means that Lightroom can't find any of my images. If that's the case, you are missing an entire folder. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that I took this folder that I called abstract and I renamed it to, something else. Well, Lightroom doesn't know that. So what you could do is you could right click on the folder that has the question mark. Since these have subfolders, you could see each subfolder has a question mark. What you would want to do is you want to always go to the root folder that has a question mark. In my case, it's Lightroom raw files. Just right click on that. The reason why you're doing that, also you're going to the root folder, is even if it finds one folder, it'll find them all as long as the structure didn't really change. So it'll save you time. So I'm going to right click on raw files. And right here, the first choice is find missing folder. You click on that and this same dialog box pops up where I could navigate to where that folder is. Now, as I mentioned in my specific case here, I just have the hard drive unplugged from the computer. And as I alluded to earlier, I can't make any adjustments over here because the file cannot be found. Well, there is a thing now, I think from Lightroom 5 on, called Smart Previews. Smart Previews are kind of like mini raw files. And there's two advantages to creating a smart preview. The first advantage is if, like me, you have your images on an external hard drive, when you imported them from your memory card to that external hard drive. There's a choice in the import dialog on the right column, Build Smart Previews. If you click that, as the images are imported, these smart previews, the thing that I called a mini raw file, is stored on your local hard drive. And because of that, without your hard drive plugged in, that external hard drive plugged in, you'd be able to process the images. So you could process it from the develop module, you could process a smart preview. Now, that's one advantage. The other advantage is If you're processing a smart preview, it's faster because it's a mini raw file. It's not a big raw file. Lightroom is peppier. It's more responsive. So you'll find that your processing goes just a little easier, a little quicker. Now, you're probably wondering why I don't have smart files. Well, there are some disadvantages. When I bring this import dialog box back up, you can see I do not have mine checked. The reason being is smart files just take up more space. They're rather large. Even though they're mini raw files, they're still relatively large, and they are stored on your local drive. And as you can see on my laptop here, my local drive is 56.1% full. Could you imagine if I created um, smart files, smart images, smart previews, I'm sorry, smart previews for all these folders, all these images, I'd fill up my hard drive very quickly. So that's why I personally don't use smart previews. Now, with that said, I could do it here and there if I so choose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my hard drive right now. And you can see once the hard drive is mounted and booted up, that all these question marks will disappear. It's just going to take a second. And once all the question marks are gone, like that, there we go. Now all my images are accessible, and you can see I could do adjustments here. Now, let's say I just want to make a smart preview of this one image. I could go to the library module, and I will go to Library, Previews, Build Smart Previews. And any image that is in the film strip that I have selected, Lightroom will build a smart preview. Another way to do it is you could go to this right panel and it says Original Photo. Click on that, and you could see it's asking you, do you want to build a smart preview? So we'll say yes. Now it just takes a second, and now you can see it says Original plus Smart Preview. Now, one note, if I process now, I won't be enjoying that speed boost I mentioned that you get when you're processing a smart preview. The reason being is because I have my hard drive plugged in, it's always going to process the original file over the smart preview. So I won't enjoy that little extra pep that you get. So just keep that in mind. Now we're going to go over to the Develop module. I'm going to minimize Lightroom, and I'm going to unmount, eject my hard drive now, and I'm actually unplugging it from the computer. I'm going to open up Lightroom again, and you'll see that it doesn't say file cannot be found. I could do adjustments, and you can see here it says Smart Preview. I have a Smart Preview of this image, so I could do adjustments. So that's really an advantage. If you often, let's say you share a hard drive between different machines, and maybe you have a desktop hard drive instead of a portable hard drive, and you're going to be taking your laptop somewhere and you want to do some image processing, you could just before you leave, plug in the hard drive and create some smart previews for those images. Then when you're out and about wherever and you want to process those images, you can. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the history panel. I really didn't talk about that at all. Every step of processing you do in Lightroom is recorded in the history panel. And the neat thing about it is if you make a mistake or you go off on doing some processing in a certain way and you decide you don't like it, instead of resetting the file and starting from scratch, you could go back to the point right before you went off on that tangent and just pick up processing from that point on. Let me show you. I'm going to just quickly process this image. I'm going to bring the highlights all the way down to enhance the sky a little bit, bring out a little detail. I'm going to open up shadow slightly. I'm going to add quite a bit of clarity. I'm going to add some vibrance. I'm going to jump down to the tone curve as I usually do, and I'm going to add strong contrast. I'm going back up to the basic panel. I'm going to set the white and black point. Now I'm going quickly because I covered all this in detail in previous episodes. So if you're just watching for the first time, you happen to be on episode 13, go back to episode 1 and start watching, and you'll see why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key in, and I'm going to click down on the white slider. The screen turns black. I'm going to go to the right till stuff bleeds through and just back it off till everything's gone. Then I'm going to go to the black slider. I'm going to hold that Alt or Option key in, and I'm going to similarly, but this time move the slider to the left till stuff bleeds through. And I'm going to leave it bleeding through because that's the way I like it. I like a little more clipped blacks. So I'm done with the basic panel. Quick take a look over at the history panel and you can see everything I did has been recorded. Everything. So we're going to continue. I'm going to go to the HSL panel. I'm going to go to saturation. I'm going to increase the blue saturation around 22. I'm going to increase the yellow saturation to bring out the yellows in the grass a little more, maybe plus 26. I'm going to go to luminance. I'm going to go to the blue slider and move it down to bring out the sky, make it a little darker. And you can see all these steps that I took so far in this HSL panel have been recorded. I'm going to go to the yellow slider and I'm going to move that one up to make the yellow a little brighter. All right, so I'm done with that panel. I'm not going to do any split toning. We're going to just do some quick sharpening that I talk about. I'm going to go 71. I'm going to not sharpen the sky, so I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key in and move to the right to mask out the sky. Again, I cover this in previous episodes. I'm just going to add some luminance noise reduction, 41. I'm going to add my lens corrections right there, and they're in. We're going to remove chromatic aberration. I don't think there is any. We're going to go to effects and we're going to add a slight vignette. And then we're going to go to camera calibration and I'm going to try landscape. I kind of like that. We're going to go to neutral. I don't like that. I'm going to go to portrait. That's okay. I'm going to go to standard. I like that one a little better than the other two, the previous two. Vivid. Vivid's okay. So we'll just leave it on vivid. And I am done with the processing as far as the way I like it, let's say. I'm going to add some brush strokes just for the heck of it. So I'm going to open up the brush. I just want to show you that everything is recorded over here. I'm going to get a new brush and I'm going to double click on effect to reset the sliders. I am going to turn exposure up and I'm going to get a fairly big brush and I'm going to add a brush stroke across this grass, kind of making a path. But I'm going to bring exposure down just a little bit on that, like that. Then I'm going to get a new brush and I'm going to double click on effect. But this time I'm going to bring exposure down just a little bit. I'm going to get a smaller brush and I'm going to go outside of that path that I just made on either side. So I kind of made this little path. I'm going to get a new brush and you can see everything keeps getting adjusted. And I am going to add a little contrast and I'm going to add a lot of clarity. I want to bring out more detail in the sky, so I'm going to get a large brush and I'm just going to paint across the sky like that, and that's pretty good. All right, that's pretty good. I think I'm pretty much done with the image. I very quickly did it. All right. now Now let's say I want to try this black and white. So I'm going to open up this HSL Color B&W panel again, and I'm going to click black and white. And wow, that really looks bad, right? So, well, let's see what we could do. We're going to open up yellows a little bit. Maybe bring greens down a little bit. Let's see what blues. We'll bring blues down on this a little bit. So we're making anything that's blue in the color image, we're making darker, basically. Let's see, oranges. Does that do anything? Yeah, let's bring orange up. Let's see what reds do. Okay, we'll bring red down. Okay, I did all that. You know what? I don't like it black and white. I liked it better color. So what we would do is we'd go over to the history panel and we would go to the step right before I converted it to black and white. And that was I added a brush stroke, remember? So we're going to click on that. And there, we're right back to where previously I started doing any black and white adjustments. Now, any adjustment I do now will override all this. Anything convert to black and white to red gray level will disappear if I do another adjustment, any adjustment. So I'm just going to go to detail and I'm going to bring sharpening down a little, let go, and you could see now all that black and white stuff is gone because I added another adjustment. So I just want to make you aware of that. So that's how the history panel, how you can make it work for you. If you screw up, don't worry about it. You don't have to reset it, reset the image and lose everything. You could just go back to the previous step. Now, speaking of reset, let's say I do want to reset this image. I'm going to click reset. I'm back to the raw file. I could go to the history panel though and go to the spot right before I reset the settings, and I got right back to where I was. So that's really a great thing about this non-destructive processing that's available with Lightroom. You could just jump around in the history panel and go to where you need. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is presets. Let's say that I really like this processing and I'm going to go and I want to make a preset. So I could go up to the preset uh, tab here, and you can see there's a little plus sign over here. I'm going to click on that, and you can see it comes up with a new develop preset, and you could give it a name. So I'm going to give this, I'm going to call it Summer Grassland, all right? And it's going to save it to the folder User Presets, which is right here. That's where it's going to put this preset. Now it's asking me what settings do I want to save. And let's see, I want to save the white balance, the basic. I could save all that. Uh, Tone curve, yeah, sure. Clarity, I think I'm going to save pretty much everything. Okay, so we're going to save everything. Notice the brush is not in there. And the reason being is the brush strokes are usually very specific to an image. So it wouldn't make sense if I'm maybe doing a whole different grassland and there's less grass, like the grass is way down here and it's mostly sky. Remember all those brush strokes I did to enhance the grass? I made this path. You don't want those brush strokes in what would be sky, right? So that's why usually, or you won't see the brush choices in here. So we're just going to save all this. So we're going to call it Summer Grassland Create. And you can see it's right here, User Presets. So we're going to reset it again. And the way the preset works, it saves a lot of time. You could just click right on Summer Grassland, and there's the image again. Now, again, it doesn't have the brush strokes. Now, what you could use presets for, you could get them for free off the internet, or you could purchase them off the internet. I hope if you purchase them, you purchase them for me, because this really helps me do all these free videos when you guys support my work by purchasing my presets. And if you do, the preset often will get you close, and then you could you could say, well, you know what, that sky, I want it bluer, maybe you'll say. So you could go to luminance, you want it darker. So you could then just do little tweaking to that preset. You could add brush strokes to it, stuff like that. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to reset it again. I have 6 preset bundles. I'll just show you real quick. If you bought this main bundle, number 1, you could just go in, and one I like is Desaturated Grunge. And if you look, as you hover over each preset, you'll get a preview of what it would look like in this postage stamp up here. So I like Desaturated Grunge off, and you can see that look that has. We'll reset it. We could do this Fake Darkness. Kind of gives like its twilight look to your image, stuff like that. So again, these are presets that I sell. If you're so interested, you could go to my website and get them. So that's it for episode 13. I just wanted to tie up a few loose ends. Now, I really didn't cover everything you could cover in Lightroom, obviously. So I'm going to be doing more episodes. This isn't the end of the series on YouTube. I'll be doing episode 14 in a few days, and we'll do some more things. I'll cover some more stuff. But if you purchase the DVD or you purchase the download of the videos, uh, um, they're really going to just incorporate the first 13 episodes. When you buy the raw files, they're only going to be from the first 13 episodes. All right, just to make that clear. And why am I selling the DVD if they're free on YouTube? Well, people want them. I get emails all the time, people asking me if they could purchase it. They'd prefer to watch it, I guess, on their DVD player or on a portable DVD player. People even ask me to download the videos. They don't want to stream it from YouTube. Maybe they don't have a fast internet connection, whatever, and they'd like to purchase the download of videos. So I'm going to try to make that available as well. So that's that. So I just wanted to let you know the series is going to continue. We're going to be doing more episodes. You guys got specific things you want me to cover, feel free to email me. You can contact me through my website, anthonymorganti.com, and I'll see what I could do. I get a lot of emails, so I will answer your email. It may take me a few days to get to it, but just be patient and I definitely will answer it. So that's it again for episode 13. I'd like to thank everyone very, very, very much for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. And again, you purchase my presets, you purchase the raw files, you make all these free videos possible, and I really thank you very much for doing that. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.